Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going? I want to continue our discussion today on, systems of equations by elimination. So we're still working on the same sheet. We're just going to work on the next type of scenario. So yesterday what we talked about was kind of these first 10 here where everything was in slope-intercept form. And I know a lot of you guys would prefer to graph, but we need to know a couple different methods, like we said yesterday, because of things like decimals, and just very large numbers that aren't going to allow us always to work with these numbers or with these situations. So the next 10, from 11 to 20, if you notice on there, you have one that's in slope-intercept form and one that's in standard form. Okay, so these, you could graph these, but you're going to go ahead and you're going to have to change this out of standard form into slope-intercept form. So that's an extra step, and that's an extra place to make mistakes. What it's going to present us with is a different way to do this. Now, I'm going to go over 11 through, I think, 15, and you guys are going to take 16 to 20 tonight for homework, okay? So I'm still on the same sheet, okay? There's some instructions here if you guys want to give those a try. Sorry, my cat is fighting with the floor. Hold on. Max, get. Sorry. So anyway, so again, like I said, we're going to go through 11 to 20. There's some instructions there if you guys would like to try them. But essentially, this is a different situation, okay, where one's in slope-intercept form, one's in standard form. Now, again, like I said, these are the problems we're looking at. So, say for example, this is number 11, right? Now, the first one is in slope-intercept form, right? Y is equal to 6x minus 6, right? Where y is equal to mx plus b, right? And the second one is in standard form. Now, this does not have anything isolated, right? So to plug this one into this one, to substitute this one here is silly, but this one, y is already isolated. We say y is equal to 6x minus 6. So all I'm going to say is everywhere I see a y in my second equation, I'm going to replace it with 6x minus 6. Big things here, make sure you're using parentheses. So minus 3, parentheses, 6x minus 6 is equal to negative 24. Now that we plug this in, we've substituted y in everywhere we saw y in the second equation. All we need to do is solve it. We have one variable x and one equation. Now, the good news for some of you guys, I know a lot of you guys in the problems yesterday, these guys, you guys had a little hard time because there was x's on both sides. Well, good news, when they're in this form, all your x's are on one side. So you know you're keeping the x's on this side. So no moving x's over to the other side. The x's are here, they're staying here. So all we really have to do with this is first simplify this. In other words, somehow get all your x's combined, all your numbers combined. Then we're going to move the numbers over to the other side, and then we're going to have our leftover x. I suggest you simplify, then move any of your addition, subtraction stuff, and then save your division for last. Okay? So the first thing we need to do here is we need to distribute. Now watch with this one in particular because we have to distribute a negative 3. Okay? That is negative 3 to both of these. Okay? When we distribute with a positive number, we do distribute the positive, but if you think about it, if you multiply a positive by a positive, you still get a positive. If you multiply a positive times a negative, you still get a negative. So it really doesn't matter. The big thing you want to watch out for is when you're distributing a negative. Okay, so again, let's rewrite the things that just come down. So negative 3x, nothing's happening with that yet. Okay. Again, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, hey, let's do parentheses first. You guys love your order of operations. There's nothing to add in here. I can't add 6x and 6, or negative 6. So there's no need to do that. We have to move on to the next thing. Well, the next thing would be multiplication, and this is 3 times this. So negative 3 times 6 is going to be negative 18, so we'll put minus 18. Negative 3 times negative 6 is going to be positive 18, so we're going to put plus 18. Okay? So watch out for that distributive property. Okay, now that we've got that, we need to combine our like terms. Well, again, 18 can't get added to any of these things, but I can say negative 3 and negative 18. If I put those two things together, I get negative 21x. Okay? And now we can start moving things. So again, I would say distribute, simplify, and now let's balance. Okay? And by balance, I mean let's use those inverse operations. Okay? So we'll say balance with addition and subtraction first. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to move this 18. Do not move the 21. The negative 21x is staying. Right. You have no x's on the side. The x's stay here. The numbers are going to the other side. So subtract 18 from both sides. I just totally wrote 81. It is early in the morning. So, oh, I'm in blue. Hold on. That's why. Okay. If I have 24 and I take away 18 more, I'm going to add these numbers together. It's going to be, what do we got? 2. We're going to carry the 1, so I'm going to have 42. Okay. So I have negative 21x equals 42. Okay, so again, what do? We just subtract 18 from both sides. Our next step, we're going to balance. I hope you guys can hear my cat swimming around in the background. Balance with multiplication and division. Okay, so again, what do we got? We're going to divide by negative 21, divide by negative 21, and we're going to find out that x is equal to negative 2. Okay. Well, now we've got x. How do we find y? Well, you can plug it back into either one of these, but take a look at this one. This one already has the y isolated, right? Here, if I plug the x back in here, I have to do negative 3 times negative 2. Then I have to subtract that from both sides, and then I'm going to have to divide by negative 3. This one, we're going to plug in negative 2. 6 times negative 2 minus 6. Bam, it's just going to be our answer. So again, this is made for you to plug in x's and get out y, so use it to your advantage. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're say y is equal to 6x minus 6. We're going to plug in negative 2. Well, 6 times negative 2, sorry, 6 times negative 2 is going to be negative 12. Oops, I'm sorry, this was negative. My apologies. My apologies. It's going to say that seems like a big number. Quick time out. I made a mistake. Watch your signs. This was divided by negative 21. This was negative 42. So this should be a positive 2. My mistake. Okay. Again, what are we going to do? We're going to plug that 2 in this time, not negative 2. We're going to plug in 2. 6 times 2 minus 6. Well, 6 times 2 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. Okay. So don't make that mistake. Right? And your final answer should be 2, 6. Okay. So again, what are we going to do? We're going to plug this in for y. We're going to distribute. We're going to simplify. We're going to mean and combine like terms, right? Get everything together that we can. Then we're going to add or subtract anything from both sides. Then we're going to divide or multiply anything on both sides, and we'll be left with finally x. Once we got x, plug it back in, get y, and express your answers. If you want to check your answers, right? So if you had put in negative 2 and gotten the problem wrong, you're going to plug them in right here. Plug them into the other one. So we're going to plug in, this will be negative 3 times 2 minus 3 times 6, and hopefully that equals negative 24. Okay? Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 18. And negative 6 minus 18 is indeed negative 24. Okay, so if those two numbers are equal, you will know that your answer is correct. Okay, so again, let's distribute, let's substitute, distribute, simplify, balance, and plug back into the other equation. All right, so here, again, the second one is isolated, so we're going to plug that into this first equation. Okay, so this is number 12. So again, negative x plus 3y, but y was equal to 6x plus 21. And that's to be equal to 12. Okay? So again, what was our first step after we substituted? Was distribute. 3 times 6, again, it's positive this time, so positive 3 times 6 is going to be 18. Positive 3 times positive 21 will be 63, and that will be 12. Okay? Let's go ahead. Let's combine like terms. Okay, so simplify. Negative x and 18, so negative 1x, right? There's a 1 here. And 18 is going to be 17x. plus 63 is equal to 12. Okay. Then we're going to balance with addition subtraction. Okay, so what are we going to do? Let's subtract 63 from both sides. Okay, 17x. 12 minus 63 is going to be negative 51. Yes? Is that right? Yes. Okay. Okay, we're going to divide both sides by 17. I hope you guys know your 17s times tables. If not, guys, feel free to take out a calculator. You're going to find out that negative 51 divided by 17 should be 3. Okay? I'm sorry, negative 3. What's your signs? Negative divided by positive is negative. Okay? So again, guys, feel free to use a calculator. Nobody's going to hold it against you. Okay? Do a little long division if you'd like to. Okay? Now that we got x, let's plug it back here. Let's get y. Y is equal to 6x plus 21, so say 6 times negative 3 plus 21, okay? Well, again, 6 times negative 3 is going to be negative 18, and negative 18 plus 21 is also going to be negative 3, and that's okay. X and Y are both allowed to be negative 3. There's no problem with that, okay? So negative 3 we found here, the negative 3 we found here. Again, you want to check it, plug it back in. I have a negative 3 plus 3 times negative 3. Did we do something wrong? I'm sorry. Positive. Oh my God, guys, it is early in the morning. Positive 3. Time out. My mistake. Jesus. Okay. Well, again, this is why we check. Okay. So hold on. Let me work it through and fully check. Okay. Because again, things that mark. I put this as negative 3. This is not negative 3. Okay. So this is wrong. This is wrong. Oops. Don't use X. Okay. I put that this was negative 3. It is not negative 3. It's positive 3. So let's just work this out, and I'll show you guys how you can find out what your answer is wrong. So I put negative 3 when it should have been positive 3. So again, what I do, I plug in negative 3. So I'm going to plug into this first equation. Plus 3 times negative 3 is equal to 12. Well, it's a good thing I checked my answer because this becomes 3 and this becomes negative 9. And 3 minus 9 does not become 12. Okay, so this is wrong. I know something's wrong here. So what do I want to do? I want to backtrack a little bit and start and figure out what's wrong. My mistake is right here. So negative 18 and positive 21 is going to be positive 3. So my apologies, guys. Maybe I got to start making these a little later in the day. Okay, so this is positive 3. So your final answer should be negative 3, positive 3. So let's try that again. I have negative 3 plus 3 times 3 is equal to 12. Okay, so in other words, x and y plugged into the first equation. This will be 3, this will be 9, and that is correct. 3 plus 9 is 12. Okay, so just be careful. Okay, still the same process, but again, there's good reason to check your answer. So you put a box around your answer so I know which one you're talking about. All right, so no mistakes in this one. We're going to work this one clean. Okay, this one was like our good friend Mr. State Farm sent us yesterday. Again, this is already isolated, right? This is already isolated. So what are we going to say? 3 times x minus 6 times negative 6. This is an easier problem than the rest of them, okay? They told you what y is. Y is negative 6. Just plug it in for y and solve, okay? So again, we're going to distribute, but there's not going to be a whole lot to distribute. Okay, negative 6 times negative 6 is going to be positive 36. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's balance. All right, there's nothing to combine. So let's balance with addition subtraction. Let's subtract 36 from both sides. And let's divide. So balance. Okay, and what do we got? X is equal to negative 2. And again, if you want to check your answer, you can plug it back into this other one to make sure it works. Again, though, we know that x is negative 2 and y is negative 6. there's no second part. There's no solving because they actually told you what y was from the get-go. So let's check because I made a lot of mistakes this morning. Okay, let's plug in -2 and -6. We can only plug it into the second one. Well, 3 times -2 is going to be -6. 6 times 6 is going to be positive 36 because they're both negative. And thank God we got one right. I got one right all the way through. Okay, so please just watch that. These problems are a little bit more straightforward. Just plug one into the other. All right. Here, again, what are we going to do? We're going to plug in -6x plus 2 everywhere we see a y. So again, what are we doing? 6x is staying, -4, and we're replacing y with -6x plus 2. Okay, so again, all we're doing is taking this and putting it right here. Okay, so again, let's distribute. -4 times -6 is going to be positive 24x. -4 times positive 2 will be -8. Okay, so what are we going to do? Let's simplify. Okay, so again, 6 and 24 is going to be 30x minus 8 is equal to -8. Okay, let's balance with the addition and subtraction. So let's add 8 to both sides. Okay, now you're going to get 30x is equal to 0. That's okay. First of all, we can keep following through. What you should realize now is that x is 0, because 30 times 0 makes 0. But if you wanted to, if you were so inclined, if you're a little bit lost, stick to the plan. Balance with multiplication and division. Well, I'm going to divide both sides by 30. Well, again, 30 divided by 30 is 1. 0 divided by 30 is 0. If you're not sure about that, put it in your calculator. Okay? Again, let's get y. How do we get that? We're going to plug back into this one. Y is equal to -6 times 0 plus 2. And you'll find out that -6 times 0 is 0. And 0 plus 2 is 2. So our answer is 0, 2. Again, we made a lot of mistakes today. Let's go ahead and let's find out 6 times 0, right? 6x was 0. And y was 2. Okay, 6 times 0 is 0. -4 times 2 is going to be -8. 0 minus 8 is -8. So we're all good. Okay, so again, this is going to be your answer right here. Put a little box around it so I know what I'm grading. All right, and last one. Okay, again, another one. All we got to do is plug in for y -5. So we say 3 times x plus 4 times -5 is equal to -17. 3x. 4 times -5. 4 times -5 is going to be -20. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's add 20 on both sides, right? So that's seconds. So we distributed. Now we're adding. Okay. In our last step, let's divide. So x is equal to 1. So right now we think our answer is 1, -5, right? Why do we know y is -5? Because they told us y is -5. Let's go ahead and let's find out. That's 3 times 1 plus 4 times -5 is equal to -17. 3 minus 20 is equal to -17. So -17 is equal to -17, and all is right in the universe. Okay. So again, that was how to do the first 5 on there. So that was 11. Sorry, it was 11, 12. This was 13. This was 14, and this was 15. So again, that's 11 through 15. Try and do 16 through 20 tonight, and please send questions if you have them. I'm sorry for the little hiccups in here. But again, I think you guys should have a rough idea on how to do this. We did this a little before the break, but good luck, and let me know if you guys have any problems. Thanks.